December 30, 1985 is a historical date in the history of our congregation. It was the day when the new structure of the congregation was established. The idea of restructuring started in the 60s. In 1962, for the first time, the board of the congregation had an orientation on the call of the Vatican for the religious orders and congregations to study their present forms of government and to determine if they could establish new provinces. This was done with Monsignor Van Valenberg, OFM Capuchin, former Bishop of Borneo, who at that time was working in Rome and had his visit to the Mother House. From 1966, there were talks about the future of the Philippine region as a result of the 3-day meeting of major superiors that took place in Manila in 1965 with the theme, Changes in the Spirit of Aggiornamento. During the SFIC chapter of renewal on July 1 to 12, 1968, the future of the missions with its pros and cons was extensively discussed, but they realized that the proposal for a more independent Philippine region was not yet the right time. Towards the 80s, Rome wanted to modernize the canonical laws and ask all religious to revise their constitutions. Because of this, the restructuring of religious congregations gained renewed attention. The board consulted a canon lawyer. He reviewed the history and structures within the congregation during the course of time. His conclusion was short and clear. He said, "The time is now ripe to give the grown-up region its independence with a reassured heart." In other words, restructuring could now become a reality. After a long preparation, the decision on restructuring of the congregation was made in the chapter of December 26, 1983. At this meeting, 2 Indonesian sisters and 2 Filipino sisters were present. The proposal for restructuring was unanimously accepted. On May 24, 1984, the first board meeting that was especially directed to the restructuring took place. The first general chapter took place in November 1985 in Vekel. The delegates for this chapter were elected according to the new constitutions, which was waiting for approval in Rome. Every branch of the congregation had 4 delegates: the regional superior and the 3 elected members. The chapter with the theme Renewed on Our Way Together commenced on November 2, 1985. It culminated on November 30 with the declaration of 3 provinces: the Netherlands province, the Indonesian province, and the Philippine province. Sister Willie Brodeskutten from the Netherlands was elected General Superior, with Sister Akursia Wijarti from Indonesia and Sister Josephine Ambatali from the Philippines were elected as board members. This was followed by the election of a provincial superior for the Netherlands province on December 30, 1985, wherein Sister Agnes Bursen was elected as provincial superior. The regional superiors, Sister Teresia Zamani of Indonesia and Sister Giovanni Faustino of the Philippines, were declared as provincial superiors. That marked a new era in the history of the congregation. Restructuring was realized. The first general board had Klondike in Vekel as their home and workplace. The property was used until the half of the term of the General Board in 2005 to 2009. Klondike was sold in 2007 in keeping with the spirit of simplicity with increasing poverty among the people. The General Board moved to live at the Mother House, and a modest building in Frieselsteinstraat in Veckel was rented as their office. The seat of the general government of the congregation has always been in Veckel, the Netherlands. However, during the General Chapter of 2009, the possibility of transferring to a country where the congregation is flourishing was considered. So in 2013, the General Chapter decided that the Generalate be transferred to Bangkok, Thailand. Given the 6 months time frame for the implementation of this resolution, the newly elected General Board, that is, Sister Maria Lourdes Santos as the General Superior with her council members, Sister Adriana Tony, Sister Jane Concepcion, and Sister Francisca Nur Hayati, discussed and agreed on its implementation without delay. They also studied the other resolutions needing immediate action and what they entailed. Communication and consultation with proper authorities were done accordingly. On July 1, 2013, Sister Maria Lourdes Santos and Sister Adriana Tony left the Netherlands for Bangkok. Also on the same date, Sister Jane Concepcion left the Philippines and Sister Francisca Nur Hayati left Indonesia on July 3, 2013. The SFIC PNP Transit House in Bangkok served as their temporary residence. A Mass was celebrated in the house on July 6, 2013 by an OFM priest with the presence of the Thailand Mission Board members, Sister Mary Grace de Guzman, Sister Estrelita Lantin, and Sister Elizabeth de Vera to formally welcome the sisters. Uncertain of the response of the Archbishop of Bangkok regarding our congregation's intent to transfer the Generalate, the General Board traveled to Warin Chamrap, Ubon Ratchathani on July 25, 2013 for further exploration of other possibilities, including obtaining visas for the sisters. The novitiate building in Warin Chamrap became their second home. The difficulty in acquiring visas and the ecclesiastical approval remained a problem. The pressure of the 6 months period of implementation, including the arrangements that have to be done regarding the General Archives, the General Board discussed on the possibility of transferring to the Philippines. The provincial superiors who were ex officio members of the 2013 General Chapter were consulted. Guided by the pertinent provisions of our constitutions and considering their responses, together with the exploration result of a possible residence in the Philippines, the General Board members arrived at a consensus that the Generalate be located temporarily in Tagaytay City for the period of 2014 to 2017. The 2017 General Chapter would make the decision on the final location of the Generalate. The sisters at large were informed of this decision in a general letter released on November 17, 2013. The purchase of a house and lot in Tagaytay was then finalized. The ecclesiastical consent of the Bishop of Imos, Cavite, Bishop Reynaldo Evangelista, for the General Board to establish residence in Tagaytay City was obtained on December 6, 2013. This was followed by the official consent on December 26, 2013 to reserve the Blessed Sacrament in the chapel. The General Board departed from Bangkok to the Philippines on December 28, 2013. They resided at the Provincial House of the Philippine North Province for a month, until they moved to the house in Tagaytay on January 27, 2014. Through the financial assistance of the Netherlands province, the construction of the chapel and the sisters' rooms was made possible, which commenced on July 16, 2014. Its completion was on April 25, 2015, with the very first Mass celebrated in the Generalate. The blessing of the whole house was held on August 12, 2016, after the Mass presided by Bishop Reynaldo Evangelista. The transfer of the seat of the congregation included the transport of the General Archives and other things belonging to the former Generalate in Vekel. The container van was shipped to the Philippines in August 2014. After the rigorous process for tax and duty exemptions, the shipment arrived at the Manila International Container Port on September 25, 2014. However, delivery was delayed because of the port congestion problem in Manila during that time. It was transported and delivered to the General Board's residence in Tagaytay City only on October 22, 2014. The SFIC archives from 1985 to present are now stored in the Generalate in Tagaytay City, Philippines, the new location of the seat of the SFIC governance.